And we are now heading in to Game 3, DRG versus HyuN. It's going to be good.
It is.
I'm looking forward to it. It's been a great ZvZ so far.
Who do you think is going to win?
At this stage, it's really impossible to tell, honestly. HyuN is showing flair. I feel that DRG isn't, so something really sneaky might happen. We're going to find out.
Maybe some sort of Nidus Worm?
I hope it's a Nidus Worm.
That'd be pretty cool.
Some sort of Nidus Worm is basically my ideal scenario for every single game involving Zerg. Will there be some sort of Nidus Worm? If so, it's going to be a good game. It's just such an exciting piece of tech, and you can definitely see why Zerg don't use it, because it's also made of paper.
Yeah, two queens. Baneling didn't even get to explode on it.
Yeah, 2 queens kills a Nidus Worm before it goes up. That's actually kind of embarrassing, really. 2 queens, or 1 queen and a ling would do it. I've seen drones do it. Like 4 drones will kill a Nidus Worm. It's insanity. It's really unfortunate. I guess as a Terran player, I shouldn't be complaining, but I just like watching it. All right, here we go, folks. Cloud Kingdom. It is this fellow right here from Team MVP in the red trunks playing Zerg to the southwest. It is DongRegu versus his opponent. Also 1 game in this best of 3 series. We are now to the elimination match between 2 of the best Zerg players in the world. You get to watch it right here in the northeast position in the blue playing Zerg. It is TSL HyuN.
Overlord's going to be passing in the night, maybe seeing each other. Not going to be a huge deal. They both want to see the expansion timings if it's there. And both players, neither doing a 10 pool. Gentleman's agreement. The peace treaty remains intact for no 10 pool, no early rush.
The civilians celebrate in the streets. There's candy thrown out, gunfire. It's really great.
Indeed.
Well, the question is it going to be hatchery? Well, it certainly is right here for DongRegu, but it will not be for his opponent.
He's breaking the treaty.
How dare he do that?
I know.
Sneaky backstabbing. This is the problem. You know, diplomacy is all lies, really. It's only a matter of time until one of them decides it is time to mix things up a little bit. It's not a huge deal, of course, but it does definitely change the dynamic of the game. It's not suddenly a case of, oh no, DRG is dead. Well, no, it's not. It's a 14 spawning pool. It's fine. It doesn't really mean that aggression's going to come out right out the gate, but it does lead to a number of possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. For one thing, this Overlord will see that hatchery a little bit late, and if it's DRG, so I'm sure he knows what you can do is you can tell that there's no gas been made at all from HyuN just by looking and comparing the amount of health that the hatchery has from HyuN. And DRG actually took a Vespian Geyser first, the same thing he's been doing in general, so he's going to have a lot of Vespian gas earlier, and he's going to know that just from this Overlord seeing the timing on that hatchery, which really gives DRG a huge, what's it, I guess, time advantage, tech advantage, where he has a window that Zerglings can come and kill him, and he knows, like, even this Overlord might see both gas, there's still no gas from HyuN. I don't know what HyuN's plan is here, other than he was kind of freaked out by DRG. Oh, he is a gas, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he stuck one in there while you were talking. It's like, I will not be fooled by this chef character. Absolutely not. He's put one in there. So that's now been spotted, so he knows what's going on there. And he has confirmation on the hatch as well, so he can assume by that time, of course, that the spawn went up first. So this could mean, of course, earlier speed, certainly. We could be seeing that coming out from him, which give him a little bit of map control, and that may, in return, result in some aggression, which will probably result in a defensive baneling nest, and then we see the way that the game ends up playing out from there.
Yep.
But as it turns out, just because of the way that it's lined up, speeds actually started a little bit earlier for DRG.
Indeed. And we've seen both games DRG going mutas. A lot of times what you'll see is if someone does something 2 games in a row, they're gonna look exactly like they're gonna do it. So he's gonna do everything the same, but just not do mutas.
Yeah.
I really am curious to see if DRG is gonna do that, or if he's just gonna play 3 standard games in a row. It's such an interesting mind game. Where I wonder what HyuN thinks too.
Yeah, I would love to delve inside the mind of the IPL Fight Club champion. That would be wonderful. But at the moment, both of them going baneling this, like, oh dear, we're on this edge of being eliminated from this tournament. We really don't want that to happen. Let's both build a defensive baneling nest, and in the case of HyuN, let's also build a spine as well, just to make sure that any aggression doesn't end up happening. That, I mean, I wouldn't even say it backfires on HyuN, as it were, because building a spine is never really a bad thing, but he's built a defensive structure that chances are he's not going to need, because his opponent is also doing the same thing and is also going to be going for the defensive baneling nest. So don't really see any aggression coming out from either side. We've got pretty equal drone counts at this stage as well. An extra queen is on the field for DRG.
Yep, going to try and creep spread very quickly to defend his third.
Yep.
And this is different. We didn't see this sort of build from DRG, so I was completely wrong on saying they're going to do something that looks the same and then something different. DRG's even going for a really quick evolution chamber. That's that's going to be a unique build. As far as I can tell, he's going to get Carapace right away with that. Yep, there's the Carapace. He's going to try and do Ling Bane and bust the third of HyuN right when he makes it.
A Carapace build is really, really cool because if I recall correctly, there's something, and it's gone out of my mind now, you can no doubt point it out. There is something that Carapace allows you to do in this engagement.
All right, your Zerglings are not going to die one hit to a Baneling anymore. So your Zerglings, well, like, oh no, he's going to lose all these Zerglings to a Baneling. It's just not going to happen anymore.
They'll survive with like 1 hit point.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of those things where with really good micro, it's like, oh, it's and especially if HyuN doesn't catch on and he thinks, oh, I'm safe. I have 4 Banelings, he has 4 Banelings, we have equal Zerglings, I'm safe. Oh, look, I can even get this really good hit off on this Baneling. But no, like, they're just going to be alive. Like, it's just going to be a surprise. And, wow, almost 2 Baneling nests there.
The standard double Baneling nest build that's going on there. You know, I've been saying time and again that Zerg players should start building spare tech structures. I don't think this is one of those times when that should be happening.
Yeah, not going to get speed and then speed slightly later or anything like that.
Yeah, that would be a little bit weird, wouldn't it? Alright, so what do we have? HyuN's now moving out with a couple of Banelings here. If I recall correctly, HyuN has not seen this Ever Chamber. No, he has not. He's had no opportunity to do it. So, and that's a fairly vital piece of information. Third's now been taken by HyuN. And in the meantime, he's going to try and get some scouting information. He finds Baneling and a bunch of Lings. That's really not indicative of anything, necessarily. We're going to have a little bit of a squabble in the center here.
Yep, he's not showing that +1 because it's not quite done yet.
Nope.
And even these roaches aren't going to be as effective now. Like, well, I guess it's going to be very similar, but say if HyuN had a +1, then also the roaches aren't going to be able to kill the Zerglings in 2 hits because of that Carapace.
Oh, that's a nice little victory right there for DRG. He's able to get that cancellation. He's actually working on one of his own here as well. So Carapace is about to kick in. So let's see how it points out. How many Banelings do we have for HyuN? He's only sitting on 2 here.
Yep, and DRG has a lot of Zerglings, 12 on the way here. There are 7 roaches coming out from HyuN. HyuN may have kind of figured this out a little bit. Yeah,
and roaches would be a great answer to, honestly. I mean, Carapace helps, but you don't get the same kind of crazy situation. So not great trade there for DRG initially. Gets a little bit of a Baneling pop. Doesn't kill those units, but does get them down pretty low. And DRG's attack has mostly been blunted for the time being. He's not going to be able to get this third, especially with these roaches now on the way. There are quite a lot of reinforcements coming in, however.
Yep, and HyuN had to be a little bit surprised there when that one Baneling didn't quite kill the Zerglings, but it ruined the surprise a little bit. Now he knows, look, he's making 4 more Banelings. He's not even making any Infestors yet, and you would have started Infestors a lot sooner if you thought Muta. So I think seeing that Carapace, HyuN's like, okay, something's different. We're not going to see Mutas right away.
No, we are not. Overseer comes in and spots pretty much everything, knows what's going on here. Reinforcements still coming in. He's going to try and make a play for that third base by the looks of it, or he may flank around and go to the natural. Let's find out what he does, and more to the point, if he's going to deploy a lot of Banelings in this action.
Yep. This is like a stalemate. Again, peace treaty, I think. I think it's going to be a peace treaty.
Ceasefire.
Yep. It's like, hey, I made some Zerglings, you made some Banelings, let's just be friends. Let's just chill.
Like that little Contaminate. That's a really, really nice move there. That's going to prevent more lava from coming out. Really, really nice. I mean, he could have done the Infestation Pit as well. That would have actually been really kind of awkward. But for DRG, he wasn't actually building any Infestors, so if he was, then it wouldn't have lined up, and then they would have spawned without that 25 energy, and it would have been horrible. But one way or the other, the Contaminate's nice, and we're seeing it increasingly in Zerg versus Zerg.
Yeah, potentially that was really smart by DRG. Maybe he knew, I saw an Overseer, what if he contaminates my Infestation Pit? I'm going to like purely...
I'm going to wait,
exactly.
I'm not going to build my Infestors yet. I don't need them quite yet anyway. You know, maybe it's just a thing where I really like it to line up. In the meantime, HyuN's actually going with the Hydra Den, so we'll be seeing Roach Hydra Infestor fairly shortly. A little bit of a move out here from HyuN. Ooh, nope, he's not going to catch those off guard. I was going to say, he's hunting those Lings down.
Yep. And HyuN is going to have a timing. He's going to have +2 to +1 for a long time. So +2's almost, or over halfway done.
Yep.
And if you look at the Infestor count, I think he has maybe a little bit less actually now.
5 to 5, so pretty equal. I believe HyuN's Infestors would have more energy. They were built a little earlier. As to whether or not that's going to make a difference, well, it depends on when the engagement happens.
Very true. So yeah, stalemate.
Yeah, pretty much. These guys are just staring at each other saying, what? Where do we go from here? Well, that's a good question. I mean, I would expect Hydras of his own really to come out from DRG, especially with +2 missile attack. It doesn't really make a huge amount of sense to grab that and not. Especially with 10 Hydras coming out from HyuN, that's a huge amount. That's a lot of extra damage he can put in there. +2 is about to finish.
Yep, DRG looking good. He actually decided to go for something like 10 Infestors before Hydras. And HyuN decided, you know, I want to go Hydras first.
Yeah.
Now, in general, I would have assumed that HyuN would have took the 4th and defended the 4th with that. But DRG is trying to take a 4th. I think HyuN is going to just go for it. He's going to say, well, I have Hydras. You're only going to get stronger with those Infestors. I think we need to be doing some sort of trade.
Well, no 4th for you. That's, wasn't even a cancel there. So that's even a really nice win if he's able to get out there with most of those lings, which he is. Doesn't get fungled. That would have been pretty bad, but yeah, that was a nice little move there from DRG, and no cancel, of course, means quite a bit of lost minerals in this position. I mean, he's still on 3 base, so let's not overestimate the importance of that many minerals, but one way or the other, goes for the run by, tries to take the queen out, gets a little bit of information about the composition, doesn't see the extent of the number of Hydralisks that are there. You may be thinking there's just a few. There's actually quite a lot.
Yeah, and something I underestimated, I haven't really brought up, is that, well, I thought he'd have a timing. He'd have a 2-0 to 1-0, but actually he has a Carapace upgrade too with this.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more even though Carapace isn't quite as good as the attack upgrade.
Yeah, certainly. And what have we got now? 10 Hydras coming out for him too. Grooved Spine is not done yet. So this might be an unfortunate little anti-timing here, because this is going to hit before +2, it's going to hit before Grooved Spine. Burrow is about to kick in, so I guess that helps, but it depends on where HyuN decides to attack. If he harasses up here, it's going to give the time for Grooved Spine to come out, it's going to give the time to get Hydras into the composition. And, if only HyuN knew that there weren't actually that many Hydras there at all, that would have been a perfect time to go for it, but unfortunately not. HyuN now posturing in the center of the map.
Yep, he tried to do some little poke down at south and just kind of move his army around. It's not doing too much damage. DRG, you know, he knows he has an extra base. He knows he just has to defend here, and he's going to go into it with kind of a more gas late game.
Yeah, certainly. Now, what I will say is that DRG is more than aware of what the army composition is now. He has seen it. There's been so many overlords already killed by these Hydralisks. He is acutely aware of what's going on. We're looking for a maxed army situation now, and there's not really a timing for either of these players. The upgrades just, they finished. They're done. So we're not going to be seeing anything else there. Neither player's going for Hive yet either, so +3 will not be occurring anytime soon. +1, Carapace is now finished. Does HyuN decide now is finally the time to attack? I mean, he is maxed out. You can't really do anything else.
No more units. Well, he could do the spine trick.
He could, yeah.
I guess there's that potential. But it's all going to be positioning here. Whichever Zerg player can get the better concave, do something like that. Even pick off Infestors, maybe run some Burrowed Infestors in. Now is a good time for that N-word building. I would love to see that.
Yeah, the N-word, yes. We don't talk about that. The wonderful, wonderful Nidusworm. Well, the armies are fairly equal in size, and it looks like we're going to start to get an engagement right here as DRG gets a good fungal on the right flank there. The Hydralisks are in a good position here for DRG. I'm liking his concave a lot better, but I don't know. This right flank is looking a little bit weak for DRG. Let's see if HyuN could break it. He's down to pretty much Hydra only at this stage, and DRG looking like he might be able to just edge this out. Yes, he does. Significant damage being done here, and that one Hydra desperately tries to get away and is able to do so by jumping on a creep, but a damaging encounter there for HyuN. As you can see, that is the units lost. DRG has been significantly more efficient up to this point, and as you said, is sitting on a 4th base, has been doing so longer than his opponent, and is now aggressively posturing towards the 4th.
Yeah, and what you want to look at too is the amount of Infestors. They're the ones that are going to continue to build up. Like
yep, 9 versus 3.
Yep, that's energy and units that are building up that we can't even see in the counter.
Very true indeed. Lots of infested Terrans going in that general direction. For the time being, however, here's a little push coming in. Just there was a couple of burrowed roaches actually. Yeah, I thought there was something there. So a little bit of harass going on here, but DRG now moving forward, and that was not a great fungal. It only hit 4 of the roaches. Looking for the engagement arc right now. Let's see who can get it. Big fungal in the center right there, and DRG once again, he's on the inside of the concave, but he has quite a few more units, and these fungals have been pretty good. Will that be enough, however? Because HyuN is aggressively pushing forward, but so is DRG. He's going for it right now. His Hydra count is really great, and that is making the difference here. He smashes it, and that is the 4th base gone. Even got to push towards the 3rd, runs up the ramp, gets fungaled in the process, but those Infestors are out of energy now. DRG is pushing for it, and look at the supply count. Looks like he's going to be able to take this one. If he can take out the 3rd, that will be absolutely huge right here for DRG. GG, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. HyuN is out of IPL 5, and we have DRG going forward in this tournament. Great series. Awesome stuff.
Well, that was adrenaline pumping, watching those Hydras, Roaches, like which is going to win in that one fight, and then 9 Infestors to 3, using that, transitioning into just pushing his army. It's beautifully played by DRG. Yeah,
that was really, really nice, actually, especially considering the stumbles earlier on. I thought, is DRG really up to his former glory? Yeah, he is up to his former glory. He's kicking HyuN around. That's usually a pretty good thing. So he's able to advance in the lower bracket, and we have another match coming up for you that is going